Today I'm going to be doing a robot explanation of our old robot. This robot has a ton of unique features and competed for over 5 months from August to January. Let's get into it. Starting off with the drive. It's 6 motor, 360 RPM, 36 to 60, screw joint drive, 3.25 inch wheels, all Omnis. Pretty basic. Got 2 crossbars, one here, one here. We got this one across that just the intake plastic attaches to. Overall, pretty simple drive. This design wasn't great, but it worked good enough for this robot. It has 2 of the big pistons that pull down on the clamp that pivots on a high strength axle here. So if we get a base here, has these little angled things that kind of help it align. So like if it's at an angle and we drive back into it, didn't work, doesn't really work that good, but I mean, it kind of helped. So then we can grab a goal like that. It brings it to the consistent spot, stuff like that. It has some like pegs underneath here that help get into the mobile those grooves, so it's harder to pull out by the robots. This is the most unique part of the robot. We have 3 flex wheel stages and then a stationary hook stage. So these 3 flex wheel stages are controlled by one 11-watt motor. That's a high strength axle that goes across. And this is geared 12 to 12 or 1 to 1 to this floating stage. This is very jank. We've never replaced this metal here. It's L channel. This thing is falling apart, but it lasted for like 5 months, so that's good. Then we have a intake tensioner, prevents the chain from falling off. So whenever this goes up, it kind of pulls the chain like that. And that's geared 1 to 2 to this last flex wheel stage here. And we needed this one slower because we have the stationary hook here. And if this was going too fast, we'd just fling the ring out. So that's why this is 300 RPM and these 2 are 600. As for this is the really unique part of this robot. It's a C channel that pivots on an axle driven by this 5.5 watt motor. And it has some lock plates in here so it can be on the axle. It has this curved piece of ABS poly that's connected to this L channel that's at an angle. And it just picks up the rings and can place them on here really easily. The part that really makes this work though is having these rubber bands that are on these high strength shaft collars on these standoffs. And this is what allows the ring to really pivot on here and get thrown onto the goal. So I'll run it through again. You can see it goes on super consistently. This intake is really, really good. Like it rarely missed whenever we used it.
Then it's a pretty close day. Oh!
For high stakes, we have this redirect mechanism. So basically, it runs off the same idea up here, where if we bring this to the right angle, which is somewhere around there. So the way this works is this stays stationary. We will spin the bottom 3 stages of the flex wheels, and the ring will come up here, hit this bearing, and then pivot over these flex wheels, and then come down into the hopper. So like this. This whole thing's on a lift, powered by a 5.5 watt motor right here, 12 to 72. And there's a cam mechanism. So what that means is we have this C channel on this gear that's lower than the lift, and this standoff that goes right here, and that connects this bar to this bar that's pivoting all the way up here. So when we lift the lift, it goes like that. And something interesting that we have on this robot that's also unique is a limit switch right here. So when this cam hits this limit switch, it automatically fires these pistons. And this is a linear expansion deal. So basically, when it goes up, without this expansion, this would not be tall enough. So it's a 4-bar mechanism that over centers. You can see how we have this L channel and this standoff, and they kind of over center, so this can't go back unless the piston goes. So when you bring a wall stake over, it would go up to the wall stake like that, and then we'd bring the lift down, and then there's these passive gates on the end here that would be able to just let go of the ring like that. Something else with this used to be a double ring capacity, but we changed it partway through the season to single ring because we realized we didn't really need the 2 ring thing, and scoring 1 ring is just more efficient in general. And another cool thing we have on here is a passive lock to hold the rings in. So it's this lever that when it clicks onto that standoff, it retracts out of the way. So when there's a ring in here and we come up, this lever is going to lift up, and that's what prevents the ring from falling out as the lift lifts. And then when we come back down, that just goes back like that. And it's a really consistent way of lifting that ring up. All we have to do is lift up like this, and we have these gussets right here, and we have this screw, which is kind of an interesting part of the robot because it's actually half cut part way off there. So the hang bar can slide up, and then when it gets all the way over, it will get stuck because that screw is cut halfway. And that's what really made this work consistently, especially in skills.